What's up, guys? Welcome back to the doctor's office. I am Dr. K. Ray Knight, here to give you a proper diagnosis and prognosis and everything comics and comic book characters. We are on Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, number 2. Now, I feel like what makes this such a compelling story is that it's all fucking animals, which makes it much creepier than people. Like, this is absolutely fucking maddening. And I love it so much. The artwork, the blood, the gore, the language, period. So, in the first issue, we're in this town, I think it's called Woodbrook, and they are, you know, all kind of just like minding their business, living their lives. And there was this goat named Martin who was always seemed to be a little bit confused, but he like was always losing his glasses and things like that. So definitely easy target for sure. He ends up getting murdered and like split open, kind of like they were trying to do like an experiment, and posted on a float of a turtle named Birdie. He was doing his parade float for the parade that they're literally about to have in a couple of days, and his friend Martin is strung up, crucified, if you will. Now, there is a murderer in the town by the name of Samantha. She's a bear, okay? Sam, however, when she commits her crimes, goes and gets her victims from the city versus their like countryside loving town, but she brings them back, goes out to the woods where nobody is, and cuts them bitches up. Drains their blood, puts their body parts in paint cans. Like, my girl has a method, and she ain't deviated from it one time. So when this murder happens, she's like, what the fuck? So the town decides to have a meeting, emergency meeting, of course, because why wouldn't you at this point? And the sheriff is just like, all right, so listen, I know we're all still shook from what happened outside, right? Right. But this is what I'm about to tell you. We have a murderer on the loose. Technically, yes. But now you have 2. But the only murderer that you should be worrying about is the one coming after the people who live here. You know what I'm saying? And he goes, not to alarm you guys, but it's obviously somebody local. It's definitely one of us. Sure. That's not alarming at all. And this lady, Cherry Gherkins, she raises a good point, although it could have been, given a little bit better. She's basically just like, y'all ain't shit, and how the fuck did you let this happen? And also, why isn't Birdie arrested? Because it was clearly his whole thing, like he's the one who did it. It was his float. He was there, last person there, da 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 da. Now, you have no evidence to suggest any of those things. And of course, the sheriff is just like, we really shouldn't be jumping to conclusions. If I thought in any way, shape, or form that Birdie was the one to do this, Birdie would be fucking arrested. But let's be serious. That man's afraid to take out the garbage. Come on. And so he's like, we have a list of people that we may be suspecting, and they're just like, well, who's on the list? All of y'all. Everybody. So, of course, Cherry does not like where this whole situation is going, cusses everybody out, and then she takes off leaving. And to be perfectly honest, girl, bye. Because after she took off leaving, I don't care what you're talking about anymore. And she left her husband sitting there. She's definitely a mean girl. Like, definitely giving mean girl vibes, right? Okay, so after the meeting disperses, there's a woman named Lola and her son who are like, are you sure you don't want us to like walk you home? Because like all of this is crazy. And Sam is just like, no, I'm straight. I'm cool. Thank you. You guys go ahead and get home. I'll be fine. I promise. Instead of her going home, she goes to go see Birdie, who has a big ass black eye and is afraid to take out the garbage. He's afraid to take out the garbage because he just got beat up for something he didn't do. So she goes to talk to him, and of course he's terrified. He's like, please don't fucking hit me. And she's like, I'm relax, I didn't come to hit you. She hands him like a sour apple lollipop and is just like, hey, look, whenever I try to remember something that I think I've forgotten, I start with like minute details, and like the details around me kind of reveal what it is that I'm kind of looking for. So he does remember the fact that a woman had come in to help him. I say woman, like a cat. She came in to help. Her name is Melody, and she is allergic to lavender. So when she's bringing in the lavender, it's making her sneeze. And he, blesses her and everything like that. And so she's getting teary-eyed and everything, and he tells her, it's cool, you can go, thank you so much for your help. And she literally leaves, and the door closes. When the door closes, there is another sneeze, and he says Gesundheit, but he still thinks that he thought at first that it may have been Melody, but there was nobody there for him to just like look at, and it got real quiet. So Sam is just like, that's interesting. I mean, it could have been Melanie still leaving, but it could also be someone else who's allergic to lavender. But, how many times would we have that situation happening? And he's like, oh, you don't think that Melody did it? And she's like, you never know what people are capable of. Pot meat kettle. So after that, she ends up going back to, or she does point out the fact that she does know that Cherry Gherkins is the one who punched him in the face. So she ends up going back to her family store, and she gets stopped by the sheriff, and the sheriff kind of just wanted to ask her questions about her whereabouts. And at the time, she was in the city. That's when she was kidnapping somebody to be murdered later. So she was in the city, and Charlie did state that earlier, and Charlie is like her worker helper. So he did state that earlier. He's like, yeah, you know what? He actually did say that. My bad. Fuck. He's like, it sounds like it's a good thing to do, getting away from this place for an hour or two, chilling out in the city. Yeah. So she goes into the store, and she runs into somebody who was buying like deadbolts and things like that. And Charlie basically says that since he opened the store, everybody's been coming in, grabbing everything they can to like reinforce their locks and make sure that their doors can't just be busted open and shit like that. At the same time, Cherry Gherkins pulls up in the middle of traffic, parks her car in the middle of traffic to get out and go get her latte. The same shit she does every single day, pissing people off for absolutely no fucking reason. So when she gets in there, Sam's just like, do you want coffee? And he's like, no, Sam, I'm good. She's like, what about hot chocolate? He's like, oh yeah, with some marshmallows. I got you, bro. So she goes across the street to the coffee shop, and Cherry is in there starting shit, of course, screaming and hollering about her latte, blah, 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 talking about some, I don't have to take this, basically being a Karen. And Sam comes in there, and she's just like, oh my God, I just saw Birdie, and he has a black eye. It's so bad. Like somebody lost their temper and beat his ass. Jumping to conclusions over something that they have no proof that he did. And she's talking to the audience, but loud enough for Cherry to hear her. And Cherry absolutely goes the fuck off. And then puts her hands on her in front of other people. First of all, you're not about to push me down in this coffee shop and think I'm not about to get up and whoop your ass. Sam has more patience than I do. As we continue on, after that whole entire situation that happened in the coffee shop, she goes home. And the news, of course, is talking about the murder that happened. And of course, people are pissed off because the news only comes around when something bad happens. Vultures. That's normal. But anyway, so as that all is happening, Cherry is getting ready to go on a late night walk despite there being a curfew. So she calls her husband a pushover and is like, that's exactly why I married you. We know, you're a mean girl. So she goes out for her late night walk run thing, and she hears a noise and she sees this person that she knows pull up to her. And she's like, oh shit, I didn't expect to see you out here. At least you got some balls. But whoever that is pulls out a knife, cuts off her fingers, and then chases her. She ends up going through like the school, crashing through the glass doors. He trips her, or she, whoever it is, trips her on the stairs with an axe, and then kills her, cuts off her head, and puts it on a pike with her intestines in a bucket, and the backdrop says head of the class. I see what you did there. And then of course the principal of the school comes in the next day, and they are like, oh shit, like she's been murdered. And her husband's like, well, with a sheriff like this, we might as well not have one. I'm sorry, am I supposed to be Captain Save-A-Ho because your wife decided to go outside after curfew? I quite literally said to all of you fucking people that there was a killer on the loose. She decided to take her fucking ass outside and go work out in the dark after curfew. Priorities. Use your brain. Think. Now, as all of this is unfolding, Sam just has this look on her face like, somebody's fucking with me, and I don't like it. Again, this story I think is absolutely so fucking wild. Definitely one of my favorite stories right now, and it has a sequel part to it, so I want to try to get through all of this, and plus it's spooky season, so why not talk about murder? But if you haven't read it, please do. It's a really good series. But that is it for this episode of The Doctor's Office. If you have not gotten Midnight Whispers or Salt Blood, please do. They are both available on Amazon. And make sure you guys listen to Ghastly Gospels, especially. We're amazing. But again, that is it for this episode of The Doctor's Office, and I will see you guys at your next video.